Alright, we're going to talk about function notation briefly. Um, we're not going to get too much into it. You get more into it with Algebra 2. But function notation is the same thing as, very similar to function form. Okay, function form is actually in x and y notation when you have a y value and an x value. Function notation is when you have this fx, or also referred to as f of x. Okay, so we read this equation here, f of x equals 3x minus 2. It's the same thing, very similar to y equals 3x minus 2. Alright, and all we're going to do with this section is learn how to deal with function notation in terms of how it relates to function form and all of that other stuff. Okay, so we're going to evaluate f of x equals 2x plus 3 when x equals 2. Alright, so all we're going to do is we're going to sub in the value for x into our function notation. So instead of f of x, we're going to say the function of f of 2, or the function at 2, equals 2 times x, which is, in this case, 2, plus 3. Alright, and all we're going to do is simplify the right side of our equation here. We're going to say f of 2 equals 2 times 2 plus 3. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 3. So f at 2 is 7. Okay, and that's all we're doing with function notation. Alright, let's look at another example. We're going to plug in 3 values of x for our function here. We have f of x equals negative 3x plus 6. And we're going to evaluate it when x equals 2, 0, and negative 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug in 2 into our function. Alright, we're going to plug in 0 into our function and evaluate it. And we're going to plug in negative 1 into our function and evaluate it. Alright, let's start with 2. F of 2 equals negative 3 times 2. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6, plus 6. So we have f of 2 equals 0. F of 0 equals negative 3 times 0, which is 0, plus 6. So f of 0 is 6. And then lastly, we have f of negative 1 equals negative 3 times negative 1, which is 3, plus 6. I'm getting ahead of myself here. So we get f of negative 1 equals 9. Okay, and if we had to come up with coordinates, ordered pairs that relate this, we had x was 2, y is 0, x is 0, y is 6, x is negative 1, y is 9. Alright, along with f of x, we have g of x. Okay, you know, we could use any letter to write in our function. Mostly you'll see f of x because that's function notation. You can have any letter here as a variable. Okay, where g could be represent groceries or whatever, you know, whatever letter that might start with what you're dealing with. So g of x, we're going to evaluate it when x is negative 2. When x is 0, and when x is 2. Okay, and I'm going to do some quick math here. G of negative 2 equals negative 6 times negative 2, and you get 5. G of 0 equals negative 6 times 0, which is 0. minus 7 is negative 7. And g at 2 is negative 19. Alright, try a couple on your own and ask me questions if you have any.